everybody, and welcome to another episode of the podcast, The Future of Web. Here we get founders, developers, investors, community managers, designers, and anybody who's building in Web3 to come and talk about their product and how it is impacting their space. So within this, we started an initiative called METAVERSE Marathon, where we were showcasing a lot of projects, who were building in Metaverse, obviously, and talk about it and how they are, problems that they're solving and for whom, right? So that was the initiative, and the other reason for starting this podcast and this initiative is because there was a lot of noise around the Web3, Metaverse, NFTs, blockchain and stuff like that. So I thought, why not bring in the people who are building in it and let them talk about, share the product, and kind of clear a lot of noise and bust some myths as well. So keeping on, so for Metaverse Marathon, this is the last project we are showcasing for this season. We'll come back, and we have had a fantastic response, and we'll have, we've already started planning for the next season already. So talking about today, first of all, sorry, I should have introduced myself. My name is Alek, and I'm the founder of Animal Solution, which is a Web3 focused design and a development agency. We do a lot of cool stuff on NFTs, UI UX for apps on blockchain, as well as metaverses. So go ahead, check out our website, LinkedIn page, you get a lot of information. Cool. So talking about the project today, today we are talking about a project called Mythyaverse. The idea behind that is elevating employee experiences. So we'll have two smart gentlemen, who are still studying, doing their PhD from IIT Roorkee, and let me start introducing them. And over a period of time, we'll introduce and talk more about the project, and we will also do a deep dive. So first, let me introduce Anmol Gupta, who is the CEO of Mythyaverse. So he's currently pursuing a double PhD from University of Groningen, Netherlands, and IIT Roorkee. His primary field of work is artificial intelligence, and he has extensive experience working with computational cognitive neuroscience, cognitive science, and psychology too. He believes that metaverse, along with AI, can be used to disrupt many industries worldwide. And I just hope that he heard my earlier panel today, which was all about metaverse and AI. So welcome, Anmol.
Hi, Alexa. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah,
Our pleasure is all mine. Pleasure is all mine. Let's welcome Vishal as well. So Vishal is the CTO of Mythyaverse. He's a passionate researcher and a technology enthusiast, specializing in virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, cognitive science, brain-computer interfaces, and artificial intelligence. He's again currently pursuing his PhD in computer science from IIT Roorkee, and has developed expertise in R&D and innovation, working on cutting edge technologies that are at the forefront of the industry. Fantastic, Vishal, and welcome you too.
Hello,
Hi,
sir. Thank you
Vishal.
so much.
You are on air. We can hear you now.
Hi.
Great.
Thank you so much.
And pleasure. And let me tell you, viewers, they are showcasing. This is a still. This is a project which is still being developed. It's under development. But I was fortunate to have a look at it a couple of days back, and I liked it so much that I thought, it's a fantastic use case these boys are solving. Plus, it was important, to come and give it a platform. So this is the very, very first time they are showcasing their product. So let's all cheer them up and don't get nervous, guys. Have some water, right? Chill.
yeah,
Cool. Yeah. So we're just gonna have a quick conversation, and let's understand a bit about you, right?
sure.
As is the norm, that I asked all my guests, whoever comes on this podcast, a quick secret about themselves. Something that they can easily share. Which is which you can share in public, but people don't know much about you. So maybe we'll start with Anmol first.
Uh, Quick secret would be so I was preparing for this JE and stuff, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's a stupid secret to be honest. Like, so I watched Three Idiots and then I wanted to leave that preparation and wanted to be an author instead of an engineer. And I'm
Okay.
glad that I didn't choose that because after joining bachelor's and doing computer science, I sort of fell in love with the subject actually. So I really love computers. So yeah. So I'm enjoying
Oh,
my life here as well. Yeah.
fantastic. That's good. So that's kind of away from the norm. Like it's portrayed that you should follow passion. Maybe this is your passion, and it just took a
Yeah,
while for you to kind of realize it. Fantastic.
yeah, it
So
is.
Vishal, what about you?
Uh, so I don't really have a secret as such, but one of the things that I can share about myself is I like during like final years of my college, I kind of wanted to go away from computer science. I started looking into uh, two major fields. One was video production and one was stand-up comedy. So
Okay.
I actually was about to join a company in video production, and I got an offer from DRDO to join as a research fellow. So that kind of pushed me towards this field, and like the rest is history, as they say. I've been in this field for 4 years now, 6 years almost now, and doing this.
Fantastic, Thank you so much, Anmol Vishal, for sharing this. And it seems that both of you wanted to go away, but you stuck with it. And it doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon, at least, right? Because now you're
Okay.
building a product, right?
Yeah.
So can you share a bit about your journey within Web3 space? Like, so how come Metaverse came into the picture, right? You are coming from different fields, right? So both of you had computer science before in your graduation?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So then how come Metaverse? Because, like research and development is totally different field. So let's start with you, Vishal. Let's get to hear, how come metaverse,
Yeah.
happened for you.
Yeah. So basically, I joined a lab in Delhi from of DRDO right after my graduation from Delhi University. I did a bachelor's in computer science from DU, and I joined the
Mm-hmm.
lab in Delhi in DRDO. The
Mm-hmm.
lab was fortunately working in VR and AR solutions for the defense.
Uh-huh.
So that is somewhere like I had no idea about any of these things before I joined that lab, and the major work of that lab was basically to assess and enhance cognitive abilities of the different defense forces that we have in India.
Mm-hmm.
So that is like the first thing that I got into. Like I started developing VR solutions. I started developing data analytics solutions based on the data that we get from different sensors from a human body, which
Mm-hmm.
involved a lot of neuropsychology. So that is where it started, and then we moved towards how we can use this in a real like apart away from a defense scenario as well, like how we can use this in a social scenario. So
Mm-hmm.
that is where like Anmol comes in, and that picture shifts from a defense perspective to a mental wellness perspective. So I met Anmol for the first time in the DRDO lab itself, and from then on we started. I guess the journey started then; it just formalized a lot later.
Fantastic. I think that's a very good journey. Anmol, how about you? So Vishal has already shared some parts, where you guys kind of met and connected.
Yeah.
What about before that?
Yeah, so it's more or less similar for like we met at like when we met, then the journey started. But before that, it was more on the sides of AI for me, like not
Mm-hmm.
into metaverse particularly, but I was always into AI, and I still
Mm-hmm.
want to build my own AGI. And yeah, so working for it. But then when I started into PhD at IIT Roorkee, then I got into this like at our lab in IIT Roorkee, we work with EEG as well, which is
Mm-hmm.
where you read brain waves. And for me, it was like when you want to build AI, you have to get inspired by the brain, which is the best machine today in the world, even today. So that is where it started. That my journey into the brain on and the cognitive sciences started, and that's
Mm-hmm.
when I met my professor at University of Groningen. So she works in cognitive science, and that's where my studies into depression started. And then I got a chance to go into DRDO, and that's when I met Vishal. And where for the first time I got into touch with these virtual reality headsets and actually saw the power of what it can do. And that's where like our journey started, where we can see that it would be beneficial if we can combine our courses in terms of computational science, computer science, and AI. And then if you merge that with virtual reality, then it can be the next frontier in the solutions of let's say mental health, because you already know that there is so much dearth of doctors in India for mental health particularly, and the doctor to patient ratio is heavily skewed, very heavily, and there is no chance that it can serve that many patients which are there in India. So we need to rely on AI, and we need to like we need to make this behavior of the person as real as possible while they are doing some task, and it can be
Mm-hmm.
really and VR is the most go-to technology there. Like it can actually transport the person from one place to another, and the person will do the task as if they are doing it in real. So that is why, like, the potential of solving mental health lies in this intersection of these technologies of AI and VR for us. That's how we started.
Oh, nice, fantastic. I think you brought a very good point. Coincidentally, my earlier panel today that I had organized was on metaverse plus AI and its challenges. Right. I am sure you would
Yeah,
have loved to have a look at it and
yeah,
be a part of it. But anyhow, some other
yeah,
time as well. So let's see.
yeah,
Can you share now about Mythyaverse? Like why we are here today. What is this Mythyaverse? I think
yeah,
Mythyaverse is your core brand, right? That you're trying to build,
yeah,
and
yeah.
there within it, it's a product. What's it called?
True. So the product is called Empower, where we want to empower everyone who is using our product, and the we are just doing a spelling play there, like a word play kind of a thing. With Empower is spelled as EMPOVR, because it's the solution for virtual reality. So that's the product is
Interesting.
that's what the product is called, and the company is called Mythyaverse because we wanted to, like, Indianize the metaverse in a way, and build a brand where we have this Indian version of metaverse in a way, and we want to create this whole universe of services. Like if you check our website, go into our website, then you'll see that we have designed the website in such a way that it looks like a universe, and then you sort of goes through these wormholes, which are there in different domains. So education is a domain, and then automotive is a domain, right? Then this spiritual tourism is a domain, and then finally there is mental health as a domain as well. So we kind of wanted to work in all these areas, uh, and basically do s- do different products at the time when we started. Then as per our expertise, both of our expertise lies in mental wellness as well. So
Hmm.
that is why we decided that our first product should be based on mental health and wellness and productivity. So
Cool. I think that's a very good idea. Let's start. So I see that. So you're trying to do AI powered experiential learning, then
yeah,
holistic wellness solutions are building.
yeah,
Within. I mean, these are services within it, right? There's an
yeah,
experience zone and there's a Mythyaverse growth indicator,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So can you talk
yeah,
about the growth indicator? I think that's something unique that we have not
yeah,
really heard about, and then we'll
yeah.
experience your metaverse as well.
Yeah.
But
So it's basically a unique scoring system that we have designed, and
hmm.
what right now it is targeted towards B2B, like our solution, as a first target segment that we are targeting. So
Hmm.
in B2B, what we want to do is we want to provide HR the tool with which they can actually see, they can have an indicator about the employee's wellness, and the employee
Hmm.
can look at it too, basically. So all these metrics that we have till now, they do not possess, or they do not present a very good picture uh, through which we can track and measure the progress of any sort of L&D program or a wellness program which is
Hmm.
there in the EAP program of a company.
Hmm.
So what we are doing is we are creating this unique abstract score through
Hmm.
which you can identify how productive an employee has been, or uh, at the same time, this productivity does not lack that human touch. So for that human touch, we have this wellness segment in our whole product, right? So this score, this single score, kind of tells you that how good the employee is feeling, at the same time how productive they are, he or she is. So that is
Interesting.
the idea of the growth
I think that's
indicator.
a
Yeah,
very good way, like, so this kind of takes away, the current, judgment criteria, so to say, which
yeah,
are more,
yeah,
question answer based and stuff like that, right? So this is much more
yeah, exactly.
interactive and immersive. And I
Yeah,
think this
yeah,
will also have the employees leave inhibition, because when you're doing
yeah,
question answer or, interacting one to one, there are certain amount of inhibitions which are there. But if you go
yeah,
into an head, metaverse kind of a scenario with a headset on, you tend to
yeah,
kind of leave your inhibitions and not be aware of your surroundings and get
yeah.
involved, right? I mean, that's what I think. I mean, you are
Yeah,
the experts, right?
one more point would be that usually when you go to a therapist, right? They
Mm-hmm.
ask you some questions, and you are generally like you're usually not very comfortable sharing all the answers with them, right? You
Yes.
even lie to your therapist as well. So that is where our product comes in, where you do not have to answer any question basically. All you have to do is play some games, or all you have to. So what we are basing this on is our own research, where we
Mhm.
know that all of your mental wellness problems or mental health problems are basically reflected in our behavior. So this is why when you are playing a game, it can easily tell us, like the analytics behind the data can easily tell us if there is some problem. So we are not asking you any questions. You are just playing some games, and still we are getting useful data, and still we are not like judging you in anyhow. The score that we have is very abstract in nature, and it just tells you, it just hints you at something. That's all.
So I think it's a very good point and a little confusing as well. So you say that the scoring is abstract. So how would an HR, like if that's where it is intended to be,
Yeah.
with so how would HR know that this person is needs improvement, can take some help, or doesn't really need help, doing fantastic. So if these are
Yeah.
abstract numbers, what are the I don't want to use the word judgment, but performance metrics, so to say. How do
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that that person is
Yeah.
performing well or not?
Yeah, so it's abstract in terms of how we are calling it, what we are calling it. So it's not like a depression score, or it's not like a uh, like a like it's the part of it is when you break down that
Mm-hmm.
empowerment score or the growth indicator, then it consists of the productivity as well and the wellness score as well, both of
Mm-hmm.
which are there. But eventually you see a single score which is called as empowerment score only, or a growth indicator, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
that is how it is abstract, but it is actually in the back end, it is calculating all these things. So we will showcase that in the demo,
Cool.
and
So
you
I
will
think let's
get to
go
see
ahead
it.
and do a deep dive now. Vishal,
Sure.
whenever you're ready, we
Yeah.
can just go ahead and have a look at it.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Cool. So I will share the screen now. All right. And I think Anmol, you can start
So,
explaining about the product.
Yeah.
are you able to see the
So
screen properly?
Yes, we can see the
yeah,
screen,
yeah.
and it looks
Okay,
nice.
So
great.
yeah. So
So,
Vishal, do you want to
yeah,
explain, because he is in a better position because he's controlling the
yeah,
website as well.
sure,
So yeah.
I'll do that. So basically, this is where you get in when you log into the stream, and this is
Mm-hmm.
kind of a Zen garden environment. We took inspiration from Japanese Zen environments, where basically like we want to portray calmness and relaxation when you first step into the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, later there can be more options into what we like. The user can choose where he wants to land in. The user can
Mm-hmm.
choose his home screen. Basically. So
Mm-hmm.
here in our home screen, basically you get an option to do three activities. So we ask
Mm-hmm.
you what activity would you like to do today. So you have boost your confidence, you have train your brain, and you have relax your mind. So sir,
Mm-hmm.
what would you like to start with?
Start with train your brain.
Okay, cool. So in train your brain, we have basically two options. One is a whack monster game, one is a shipyard game. So these are games that will basically be able to tell some kind of a cognitive score when they are over. So let's start with the whack monster game. Let me just get the other controller. It requires, yeah. So basically, this game will give me two hammers in both of my hands, and I have to hit some monsters that come in front of me. And each of my hand will have a hammer of different color. So I have to hit the red hammer with the red monsters with the red hammer, and the green monsters with the green hammer.
Sure.
So this is how it starts, and you can see.
Okay. I can hear some, the popping sound as well. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. And also what happens is in between at random times the hammers would change colors.
Oh, interesting.
So that
Yeah,
will
it
create
just switched.
basically another, yeah. So that create another level of
Play.
confusion in the user. And
Yeah, yeah.
basically while you increase the amount of time you play, the speed at which the monsters come also increases.
Interesting. So
So yeah, that's
interesting. Yeah. So I was
and
saying,
yeah.
So I mean, you built the very nice environment. Can you just, like look left and right and just see
Yeah,
how good this environment is? Yeah. So maybe I can, like maybe just take a stroll in the environment itself, rather than
yeah,
popping
yeah,
the monsters. And you can have some music there as well, right?
yeah. We can add.
Nice, nice. Cool. Let's go to the other one now.
Yeah. So basically, what you get from this is an accuracy score.
Mm-hmm.
Later, this accuracy score is basically your indication of the attention in the game, and
Okay.
this is the score that you're getting in this game. This is an amalgamation of whatever positive or negative score you've gotten, and then there's
Okay.
the high score.
So what does that
So
score really
that's
mean? So there was 80 on one side and 170 on the left
yeah,
side. So what does those numbers really mean? So 80 means, is it percentage that I was 80% aware or
yeah,
accurate?
yeah, yeah, percentage. So the
And
accuracy score is a
Mhm.
percentage score, and the other score is a non-percentage score. It's a score where basically if you do a correct hit, it's a +10 value. If it's a wrong hit, it's a -5 value. So
Okay.
that's basically a score of the game. That's kind of created to create a leaderboard sort of thing. So like getting one final value of the score in the game. But the
Okay.
other thing that we have, the attention value, that is basically created so that we can give you a cognitive mechanism, so to speak. How, like the final score that we want to give you and your HR or your managers is how well your memory and your attention is doing. So the accuracy
Okay.
score is being converted to an attention score, basically.
Cool. So let's go to the shipyard now. Let's see how that plays out.
Yeah. So in the shipyard, basically you will have ships coming and you have to in a harbor, and you have to place them, match them to the same colored sheds, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how the environment looks like. It's a
Mm-hmm.
basic environment which we are updating right now,
Sure,
and you
sure.
can control the arrows basically.
Okay. Which way they need to go? Okay.
Yeah. So basically, because this is a green colored flag ship, so it has to go to the green shed, and each correct would give me a correct 10 plus point, and each incorrect matching would give me a minus 10 points. So let's
Hmm.
say I do this incorrectly, I'll get a score of -10.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Right? So this, and we have a timer here, and I can stop anytime.
Yeah, sure, sure. Cool.
So once I stop, I get a memory questionnaire. So how many sheds were there in the game in total? So I, let's say 4 to 6.
That's an
How
interesting
many
question
trains?
because not everybody will remember it. The focus will be, where
Exactly,
the ship is going.
exactly.
Hmm.
And these
Nice.
questions would basically change on every session that you play, so that it's not a learned thing. It's basically you have to pay attention in the game as well.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
and how
Oh,
many black ships were there?
I see you brought the difference in color now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we did.
That was a quick
Okay.
turnaround. Nice.
We did all the changes you suggested.
Acha,
We
all
did all
the
the
one.
changes that is
Yeah,
suggested.
yeah, all of them. Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool.
So here, if you would see, we get two scores, two cognitive scores. One is processing score, and one is a memory score. So these are the cognitive scores, and this score is the score in the game.
Cool. Nice. So let's go to the other one. Let's go to the, relax your mind one.
Sure. So here
And
again, we
then,
have two environments, and in
okay.
this right now, what we have implemented is a paradigm, which is the 478 breathing paradigm. So once you go in an environment, let's say let's go to the cave environment,
I
and
like the cave
I
one.
have an option to yeah. So I have an option to like before I start, I can read the instructions. So the paradigm that we are following is breathe in for 4 seconds, then hold for 7, and exhale for 8, and you'll hear a audio that in the background for this. So once I
Okay.
start, this will
I
and
don't think we
the
can hear the audio.
Yeah, I don't think we can hear the audio.
how about now?
No. I think it's
Very
playing in
little, very
your,
little.
I think it's playing in your laptop and not here.
Oh, okay. Uh, Let me just check.
Yeah, go to the speaker options. It's going to the Bluetooth.
हेडफोन में
I
जा रहा है
think.
ना?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. It's going to the Bluetooth headphone. Oculus Virtual. I think Oculus Virtual headphones
No, it has to
or a
go to
speaker.
speakers. Speakers.
Okay.
Speakers.
Yeah.
are you able to let's check once now if you're able to hear?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Let's go.
It's still coming. It's actually coming to the Oculus speakers, so that's why I guess you guys are not able to hear.
Yeah.
Oh,
Try to maximize this, and let me try and change the mic that I'm using here.
So I've removed that. Let me know when you're done. Done. Have you changed? Okay.
Sorry,
Say something. Hello, hello.
it's running. Are you able to hear?
I think slowly. I think it's coming a little bit. Can you go to the platform?
Yeah, let me try it here once more. Try using the.
Yeah, I think now I can.
Maybe let's just try this.
Yeah, go to the cave.
Is it audible?
Slowly,
very
very
faintly. Yeah.
faintly. It's okay. We got the idea, right? Like, let's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically you get a count of the seconds, like because it is 4 seconds for inhale and seven
Mm-hmm.
seconds for holding the breath and 8 seconds for exhale. So you get this count 1, 2, 3, 4, then exhale and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is
Cool.
why this is guided meditation. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's fine, I think. So yeah, we can hear a little, but very, very
Yeah, it's
less.
coming faintly. But anyhow, it's okay. We got the idea, and
I
people can
that's
actually
why
go ahead
actually
and check
we're
it
using.
out. Yeah. So I think people who want to check it can go on the website, right, and they can check it.
Yeah. Can you also
Cool.
just look at the environment, like
Yeah, just
just
show the environment. It's a good
just
environment.
show the environment? Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Let me just go again. The cave one again or the ship?
Yeah, yeah, cave,
Yeah, yeah.
cave, and
Cave one.
then ship. First cave, then ship.
All right. All right.
So how are you guys managing, like privacy issues and stuff like that? Are you storing any of the data, uh, or anywhere, or is all this data is tied to a, like a code or a ID or the person the person name, and how is there, like, how are you handling the data in this?
It's actually tied to the user,
Yeah.
so user profiling that we have done. But like it's a very good question, and we have not reached to this point. But we have to integrate, like we plan to integrate blockchain into this,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can secure the data of the user. And
Mm-hmm.
we also plan to integrate like blockchain authentication as well and anonymous
Mm-hmm.
authentication within this. But one issue with that is whenever you work with these devices, like
Mm-hmm.
the in order to even start the device, you have to have a Meta ID, right?
Yeah.
So then user has to log in with that. Uh, in like in addition to that, there would be no other logins which we will require, and everything will be based on blockchain security.
Oh, nice.
So
So
all
which
the data
blockchain
will
are you
be on.
planning to use?
I think Hyperledger only.
That's a
Uh,
Hyperledger only. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so this is the second environment.
Mhm. Oh, I like this one also.
So this is sort of inspired from that Avatar movie, like which have these floating mountains. So that
Yeah.
is why he created this. Yeah.
So if we have five people in at the same time in the same environment, so will they be
Yeah.
able to see each other, or it's a unique experience for each and everyone?
Right now it's unique, but we are actually creating that solution as well, where
Okay.
which will be a social solution, so to say, and
Yeah.
everybody can join in at the same time. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because I would again like to explore a little more because right now it's focus on the center. So maybe I want to
Yeah.
experience it, go to the top of that, just walk straight,
Yeah.
go to the
Yeah. Yeah.
top, take the stairs,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then see how it is around, and then experience the meditation. What you're trying to
Yeah.
do. Right.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Actually, it's a whole like 3D environment is there. You can do that. Like we just do not have yeah, like we have not implemented the functionality yet, but we can easily do that. Yeah.
No, that's fine. Like we're aware that it's a work in progress. Cool. Let's
Yeah.
quickly go to the last one.
So I think the last one would require the voice to be heard at least.
Acha. Oh
I don't
yes,
know.
the boost your confidence.
Can you? Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
try it?
we can
Let's
try
try,
once.
Vishal.
Otherwise, we'll show you a recorded video. I think that
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that'll also
because
work. Absolutely.
so in this right now we have one and we have more scenarios coming up. So right now in this scenario we have created a scenario of where you can come and pitch your idea to a group of senior professionals that are sitting in a meeting room. And this can
Mm-hmm.
be any idea starting from like let's say I just want to talk about VR and AI in healthcare, or I want to talk about how I can go to the moon, any concept basically.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, these individuals, these characters or non-playing characters, they are AI enabled. So basically, there are three different AI modules that are working in cohesion here. So I'll just play once and let's see if the audio is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Vishal. I would like to talk about how we can use virtual reality in health. Are you able to hear?
No, it's very faint again.
Okay, so I think we'll share the video for this, but basically,
Yeah, yeah. I
just
think
as a
let's.
uh, explanation. So basically, what happens is once you are done with like pitching your idea, they'll ask you intelligent questions, and then you can kind of have a rebuttal on that, and this continues. And whenever you want to end the session, you will click on end, and you will get a set of scores that
Mm-hmm.
based on your whatever you have spoken. So you will get a
Mhm.
relevance score, engagement score, coherence score, technical accuracy, and what is your words per minute.
Okay. So I think the
So
best use case
before,
of this would be that if I have to go and do a pitch, right,
Yeah.
for any
Yeah.
project or anything, I can do
Yeah.
a practice session, so to say, with counter
Yeah. Yeah.
questioning coming
Very
in.
true.
Interesting. That
So
that is
it
going to
can be
be
used
very
for,
important, for kind
yeah.
of confidence building. I think that's what
Yeah,
you
so
call
it
it,
can be
right?
used for sales pitch as well, and
Mm-hmm.
for salespeople, and then even CXOs can use it. Like CEOs can use it for pitching. Like the AI can judge your pitch basically.
Oh,
That's
nice.
what we are building. So that scenario is like in terms of like we are building it right now. Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, so we are building kind of an
Okay.
elevator pitch scenario where you are actually you'll step into an elevator and you'll have 30 seconds to do your pitch, which any founder should have like a short version of their pitch. So
Yeah.
sort
Very
of like an
quick.
exercise to prepare that. Yeah.
Nice.
We shall
Interesting.
show the
So I
stats. The
think before we close this, yeah, I just wanted to show the
yeah,
stats.
yeah.
So here we are getting, so this is like the overall stats, like Anmol explained. So
Mm-hmm.
we have an empowerment score, which is an
Mm-hmm.
abstraction over everything that uh, you have gone through, every experience of yours. So
Mm-hmm.
your empowerment score is a final score of everything that you're doing in our product. And then you
Mm-hmm.
have two scores, which is a productivity score and a wellness score.
Okay.
And these scores again are based on what you have experienced. So productivity comes out of the cognitive gains plus the confidence, like the confidence booster sessions, which are the pitching sessions or whatever
Mm-hmm.
we want to call them, those sessions. And the wellness scores come from the meditative sessions. So they are basically the weighted averages of how you select your mood to be after each session. So in cognition, like we get high scores of the games, we get the final attention, memory, and processing scores. And basically, because we are storing your data at each session, you will get a tracked record of how you have performed over a period of time. So
Okay. Cool.
we want to show that dashboard to you in a web-based platform or a mobile-based platform, so that you, your HR, your managers, your company can access that data for an individual as well as a group of people. So you can, an HR or a senior executive at a company can evaluate how a group of people are doing, like how a team is doing in terms of all these different scores.
Sure.
And
Nice. So,
similarly, we have for, yeah.
no, I think it's interesting. But what I want to ask is one question. So, how would you define the benchmark? Because for every profile, every person, every type of work, there's got to be a different benchmark, right? For an intern, probably
Yeah.
joining a design team is a different benchmark. For a mid-level manager in a AI company is a different benchmark. So, how are those benchmarks being created so that you can see, that this needs improvement or that person is fine?
Yeah, so that's a very valid feedback, and we are yet to start these experiments, right? So experiments or pilots, you can say, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we will start the pilots with certain companies. We are already talking with many companies like Siemens and uh, Zomato and some other startups as well, which we
Mm-hmm.
have contact with. So we are talking with them. So what we are planning right now is we have to have a target group, and as you very rightly said that every target group will have a separate benchmark, so to say. So
Mm-hmm.
unless we have the data, we cannot have that. So that is a work in progress. In a way, we'll collect the data, we'll get these benchmarks, and then we'll have these statistics around it, the Z scores and everything, so that we can calculate the standard deviation and see how deviated your score is from the normal score, so to say.
Yeah.
So that is a time taking exercise, unfortunately, that has to be done.
No,
Yeah.
that's
And
fine.
that
So as
normal
long
score
as
basically, yeah.
no, go ahead, Vishal, please.
So I was just adding that the normal score that Anmol mentioned would come from the demographic which is similar to you. So, like you said, how would we set the benchmark for different groups?
Yeah.
You'll have a benchmark that is similar to a demographic of your kind of people in a way, or people who have a similar background, who have a similar socioeconomic group, who has a similar job profile like yours.
Yeah, so one
Cool.
advantage of this is like with time it will improve on as we have more
Oh,
data and more data.
oh,
So it will
absolutely.
get
Because
improved.
you're still in the pre-production stage, right? So it was
Yeah, yeah,
important to come and have a showcase it and see how it is. And obviously, when you
yeah,
start showcasing it to multiple people, there will be a lot of feedback that you will get. What features
yeah,
are currently required? What is the industry requirement from an
yeah,
HR point of view and other teams' point
yeah,
of view?
yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So, do you guys have a tentative timeline as to when you want this to be available for the market? Like not the test groups, but the actual market if somebody wants to use it.
Actual market, I guess, like we'll be ready in around 3 months because
Mm-hmm.
we will begin pilots very soon, and
Mm-hmm.
then after the pilots, it's like on the technical front, it is frankly like we can do it very quickly. It's just more about the semantics, trying to figure out the semantics of it, and do not uh, do not create some false notion of a score or things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So for that validation, we are like already talking with hospitals as well. So we want to do this multiple pilots through which we can validate all these scores in a way, in terms of B2B, in terms of B2C, or in terms of patients as well. So yeah, around 3 to 4 months we'll be able to get it to market.
Oh, nice. Fantastic. I think so. That's a good way to go. And do you guys have anything else to add on the product itself? Like we've talked about the product itself, what you're envisioning, where you are going in the next 3 months. Anything else that you left out about the product you want to share?
I think I have covered blockchain as well, which
Yes.
which is the main thing to keep the data anonymous and to keep the data secure, which is one
Yeah.
thing. And one more thing is like when we are creating these unique scenarios for particular use cases. So
Mhm.
one particular target demographic that we can target is can be our LGBTQ community. So that is something we are looking into, like to be as inclusive as possible uh, as a startup. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Fantastic. I think that's, so covering all,
Yeah.
everybody in this whole, mental wellness
Yeah.
gamut, so to say. I think
Yeah.
that's a very
Right.
good vision that you both have. So fantastic, Anmol and Vishal. I think, I want to say all the best to both of you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming in and showcasing your product. Right. I think it's a very, very good, well thought of product. And though it's in under development, so to say,
Yeah.
phase, but
Yeah.
it still looks very cool. Right. Obviously,
Thank
there are
you.
certain nuances, that we need to take care of. But other than that, I think it's a fantastic product. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
in.
you so much.
And cool. All
Thank you,
right.
sir. Thank you so much for having
Thank
us.
you
Yeah.
so much for having us. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. All right, viewers. So I want to say that this ends our Metaverse marathon. It was a fantastic journey. We've had amazing amount of products showcased over days, and we are very close to kind of already started planning for the next Metaverse marathon because we had so many projects that we could not cover this time. But yeah, so I would say that thank you so much. Keep supporting us and keep listening to the space. Thank you. Bye bye.